Darren, obviously, you've worked with the team for a while, but now that you're fully into practice, do you see things differently than maybe you did for the first 3 months?
Yeah, I think we've made really some great progress probably the last 10 days. It's been really noticeable. I like the way our connectivity is improving at both ends of the floor. I think we're getting closer to being ready to play a game. We'll still utilize these last few weeks, of course, but yeah, we've made some good strides the last couple weeks.
Closer to play a game. Obviously, 2 weeks you got an exhibition. So, what do you need to accomplish before you're game ready? I'm sure it's 1,000 things.
Yeah, I still have plenty of stuff that we got to get done. Zone offense and defense, that type of stuff. Late game situations still are the things that we got to get implemented and get installed before we get to that position. But we got the bulk of all of our stuff, and now it's just tidying up all the loose ends yet.
As Greg was saying, obviously the exhibition with Charleston coming up. Are you also doing like a scrimmage, like before or after, or?
Yeah, we'll have a closed scrimmage as well, so we'll play that after our exhibition game. Yeah.
Where do you fall on the whole secret scrimmage thing? Are you a guy that keeps them, tight-lipped secret, or do you?
We're supposed to keep it secret,
Right.
so I guess.
I mean, you.
How am I doing so far?
But, I mean, some coaches don't, really care if stuff gets out. Some keep it ultra secret. I'm just
Right. Afterwards, we, for the most part, we'll talk to the opposing coach, see what they want to let loose, and stats or whatever it might be. But we usually come to just an agreement. We haven't talked about it yet, but we'll see what we both agree on. But I don't really care what gets out there. But.
You mentioned your offense and having to work on it against different defenses. How much does your offense change going against different types of zone or man, or are the concepts pretty much the same, only kind of minor tweaks?
Yeah, I mean, the zone offense is certainly unique from our man offense, but the man portion of it versus trapping ball screens or a drop coverage or ice in the ball screens, a lot of what we do kind of you're able to utilize in all those coverages. So we don't have to change a lot. You have to tweak it some depending on the coverage for each game. But in general, we're able to kind of do the things we do with just different focuses on, depending on what coverage that we're going against.
Some of that read and react for your players on the court when they see how teams are adjusting how they're, for instance, defending ball screens, whether they're switching or fighting through.
Yeah, some of it would be read and react. A lot of it's going to be just the game prep. But then, if an opposing team adjusts to what they're doing within the game, hopefully we're at a point where we've covered all this in our summer and fall workouts. So it's an easy adjustment to just go to, how do we attack if they're doing it this way, if they're switching, if they're trapping, and have those coverages and our attacks against it already in place.
Every year, a coach usually brings in 3, 4, new players, transfers, freshmen, whatever it is. Has this been? I mean, you're bringing in guys from all different systems and the like. How hard has it been to put the egg back together again, so to speak, with all people that are coming from everywhere?
Yeah, it certainly adds challenges when you have as many new faces as we have, in addition to new coaching staff, no returners from the previous team that had, because we're new, even though we only had one anyway. But the good part for me is I've done it twice now. My first year at Drake, I believe we brought in 10 new guys, and in my last year at Drake, we brought in something very similar, 10 new guys. So we've had to do it before. It certainly leads to more time and attention to detail that you have to spend on some things with just terminology and that type of stuff. But I do like the fact that we had our trip to Italy. I think helped this summer just to give us a little bit extra time to work on some of those things, spend a little more time on some of the concepts and stuff. But as I said, it feels like the last couple of weeks it's starting to click and come together.
Would you expect it to be together mostly not right when the season starts, so I assume you'd be a lot better by mid-season.
Yeah, it's one thing to get it to go in practice. It's another thing you have to learn by playing games. And I think I mentioned last time, we have to learn how to win together, and you can't do that till we start playing. And those are the things that, as we get into these exhibition games, those will be two big pieces for us to learn from of, how do our guys react against somebody else? And we got a little bit of a glimpse of that this summer with our Italy trip, but moving forward, those first couple months of the season, as you get into conference play, you're going to learn and grow a lot as a team.
We're putting together the staff after you got hired. Obviously, a couple guys you brought from Drake with you, and then a guy who coached Illinois, a guy who coached with Alford. I mean, it would have been easy to just say, okay, I'm just going to bring all my guys with me from Drake, but that's not how you did it. So can you just kind of take us behind, like, the thought process behind bringing in some new guys and bringing in guys you were already familiar with?
Yeah, I thought it was important that we make sure that we're able to cover a good portion of the country in terms of recruiting, nationally, even worldwide, being able to go international. And I think we did that with the staff we put together. I think we got a lot of versatility in the way we're able to recruit and the way we're able to coach on the floor. I love the experience, and we got a good mix there. And then we also got a good mix of some youthful energy in that. So I love our staff. I think it's a very good staff. We have some very strong ties to the area, and then also nationally as well. So that was important to me because of the portal area. You need to be able to go touch a lot of different parts of the country.
New guys like Frazier, obviously, did you have to get to know them as well, or I'm sure there's probably some kind of connection there with them previously, or maybe there wasn't? I don't know.
Yeah, with all the guys, there was a different level of how much we knew each other. Some was a little more distant, some was a previous relationship type thing. But as you're going through that, as you're deciding which direction you want to go, you have to make sure you reach out to different people that tell me more type stuff. And with all the guys, I felt very comfortable with how they fit, not only with myself, but with our staff and the way we want to approach it on a daily basis with our team.
How is Javon Small been, and how important is he going to be to what you do?
Yeah, Javon's been terrific, and offensively is where, he's kind of what, I thought we were getting. And then defensively, that's where I think he's made the greatest strides here the last, from the, getting here in June until now. He's really made some good steps there, and I'm excited to see defensively when you add him and then a couple of the other guys that I think are pretty strong defensively. I think we could really have a good, strong backcourt defensively, especially with the way he's made some big strides.
Defense then. You said backcourt, you think you've got a chance. I know you like Harris as well back there, but front court wise in terms of defense, just in overall, what do you think of your defense?
Yeah, front court will be just a little undersized, so we'll have to get creative with the way we defend in the post, the way we rebound. We need to be physical, but then we're also going to have times where we got to send another body to go provide some help down there. So we'll put a lot of time, and we have been putting a lot of time in on being able to come, trap the post and play off of that. Some nights we'll be able to play it straight up, but there's going to be other nights where we're going to need to bring an extra body to bring some help, which then you got to get great at rotations and communication and all those things. So, again, it's not it doesn't mean our defense can't still be good. It's just we got to be able to play it a little bit differently.
I was going back listening to last week a little bit, and when you talking about Hansberry and kind of maybe possibly use him like in a pick and pop kind. How is he as a three-point shooter? And I mean, I know he had a little bit at Illinois, but is he expanding on that? Are you comfortable with him shooting threes? Or?
Yeah, he's put in a lot of time this summer. I mean, he's in the gym. Like he's really put a focus on being able to be that guy for us. I just met with him yesterday. In practice, you don't get as many reps of, like, we're not going to call a pick and pop play for him on every possession. So we only get 3 to 4 reps where he's shooting a three in live action, and I want that to be somewhere in that 4 to 8 range on game day. because I do think he's put in enough time. His numbers reflect throughout the summer and fall that he's more than capable out there. And early in the season, I want to see that continue to grow and expand, because it just puts a lot of pressure on the defense when you have a guy that can step out and shoot it the way he does, and then he's a terrific passer from there as well.
It just seems kind of weird, because it's been a long time since there was a big that shot threes here. I know Canate did it a little bit, but Pittsnoggle before that, that's a long time ago. I mean.
Well, Monty's going to shoot him. I hope he makes him like Pittsnoggle did. So.
Go ahead.
You said games are coming pretty quick. Mountaineer fans haven't seen your sideline demeanor. Can you explain what you're going to be like on the sideline, your interaction with officials? What are people going to see?
Mostly calm, mostly. I haven't had a technical foul yet, so that gives you a little idea. I'm not someone that's, I don't put a lot of focus on the officials. I mean, there's times where maybe you want to talk to them a little bit, but I don't think that they're doing their job. I need to do my job, but for the most part, I just want to coach my team and try to make sure that my thoughts are focused on that.
You mentioned rebuilding the roster twice before and doing it this year, obviously. What's the trick to making it work?
It's getting all those guys to buy into roles, and then everybody's in a different role than maybe they, where they came from, and that's I think that's the hardest part of any team is guys being able to fit into that role. So there's again that connectivity. I'll use that word again of like, how do we all fit together, and how do we play well together, and then as coaches, how do we still continue to utilize and find the strengths of each individual and incorporate that into what the group needs to be good at. And that's the part that as we go on throughout the season, those roles can continue to change and evolve, and that's the fun part of going through a 31-game schedule. Is you're not going to be the same team on November 4th that you are in March, and hopefully it's a better version of yourself in March, obviously.
It kind of blew my mind a little bit, finding out you've never had a technical foul before.
I'll probably get one the first game.
I'm sure you've been close a couple times, right?
I've deserved a couple. Yeah, there's a couple times that they could have, but again, I try to keep a pretty good rapport with the officials, and they know if I'm upset, they maybe they missed one, or maybe I'm wrong too. It's again, I don't want that to be my focus on a game by game basis. I want it to be on us.
Going back to your discussion on helping in the post, doubling down from the outside, those kind of things. What makes a good help defender from the perimeter on that? What kind of things do they have to do to be effective at that, but still be able to get back out to cover?
Yeah, the hardest thing when you bring two to the ball, and that's what offenses try to get is anytime you can get two to the ball, you feel like you have an advantage. So if we have to bring a second guy into the post, we're playing a numbers game now. So that early anticipation and making sure you're there on the catch to get a good trap, and then it's not just the two guys on the trap, it's the other three guys of making sure they're getting to their spots, and then the recovery out of it. That's where it breaks down, because you're going to be in a long closeout somewhere, and how quickly can you get reshaped as a defense when that ball comes out of the post. And if you can do it effectively, it's a great way to play post defense. You can get turnovers out of it, but if you're not great at it, you're going to end up giving up open shots. And that's why we're putting a lot of time into it, almost daily of having doubling the post segment to make sure that we're always ready to do it in different ways too, because you have to have different coverages, different ways to throw those double teams at teams so they can't get comfortable.
You've had to change your playing style from being in the NBC previously to being in the Big 12?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I was at Creighton when they were at the Big East, and a lot of what we do is similar to what they still do, and they've been very effective. There will be adjustments, no question, as you get into Big 12 play and things. Some of the things that maybe worked in the Valley, there's just more rim protection and length at the rim that you're not going to get some of that stuff. So maybe you just alter what you're focused on. You're trying to get each possession.
Back to the assistants, Nick Norton. Sounds like he's got coaching in his blood. How have you seen him grow as a coach over the last couple of years?
Yeah, Nick's a great young coach. He's going to be in this game for a long time. Obviously, his dad, Randy Norton's been a head coach for a long time as well. And I just love the enthusiasm that Nick brings every single day. That energy. It's a long season, and you got to have that. Coming from as many people as possible throughout the year. So he's a great addition to our staff, and someone that obviously I trust a lot as well, and excited about having him here.
Do you have, like, your assistants, one guy works with bigs, one guy works with guards? Is that kind of how you don't do? Okay.
No, we just kind of mix it up. I want our staff. I mean, we'll break down sometimes, and a guy would take the bigs or guards or wings, but throughout the course of the year, they're going to work with everybody on the team. And there's a couple of different reasons for that, just to make sure that those relationships are being built across the whole staff, but also just from a coaching standpoint to make sure they're continuing to grow and develop as coaches in all phases of the game. And that's a lot of why I do that.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everyone.